Well, we're seeing a lot of cleanup happening. This busted out window here at City Smoke is just one example of several blocks worth of damage we've seen in Uptown. But crews have been working really fast to get things back to normal. You can see they got the board up, and down here on the street, most of the shards of glass are gone, just a few left to be dangerous for you. The other thing we've seen is easily 100 trash guys out here picking up stuff like this. When we first got to Uptown, the blocks were just completely littered, full of water bottles. It looked like there was stuff that had been taken from protesters off store shelves, plants literally ripped out of the ground. But you can tell the crews have done a really good job of getting things back to normal almost on the street there. The other thing that we're seeing right now, the latest, is security guards going around to all of these buildings, and they're doing this right here. They're checking to make sure that all of the doors are actually locked and sealed, because after last night, you just never know. Also, we are seeing over here at the epicenter that they are carefully guarding this place right now. Around every single entrance where you could go upstairs, there is an armed guard, and they tell me they're likely to be here throughout the afternoon. That is because right now law enforcement says no place in Uptown Charlotte is 100% secure. They say it is possible there are still some protesters down here, although we haven't seen any within about the past 30 minutes. We're going to keep walking around though and looking for more damage and bring you all the updates as they happen.
Ben, if you haven't seen any protesters in the last 30 minutes or so, do you have any good sense about where they went, what happened to them? I mean, were they arrested? Did they just all disperse? Where did they go?
The last time we saw them, there was only about 5 of them, and they told us that they were headed home because it was just a really long night. However, we are told by law enforcement that it is possible more could be coming back at any moment, so they are going to stay in this area at least through the afternoon, like they said, and keep a tab on the situation.
Briscoe reporting live for us down in front of the epicenter there. Ben, thank you. And one person we do know.
Let's begin with Ben Briscoe, where the worst of the damage was. And Ben, you said last time we talked that you had seen protesters just earlier this morning. At this point, is the coast clear?
I don't know if I would say the coast is clear, but we haven't seen any around here in the epicenter. I have heard that there might be some further out in Uptown. However, that is unconfirmed at this point. So we're going to keep asking around and go walk around here in a little bit. I also want to show you, we've done a lot of talking about damage done by protesters so far, but check out this powdery substance. It's another side effect from last night. It is the remnants of those gas bombs that they used to disperse the crowds last night. And there are literally hundreds of them around here in Uptown, like chicken pox scattered across the street. Check out this one building. There's 1, 2, 3. Come with me over here and you'll really see it. 4, 5, 6 of them just on this one building right here. Now, of course, all of that is going to wash off, and it's nothing compared to the actual damage done by the protesters. I want to show you some images we got right when we first got here of that. There are windows busted, there's store shelves looted. People went in and ripped off beer and wine from the actual shelves. They even went to the planters and pulled out the green plants, knocked over a pagoda, and busted windows at the CVS. However, back out here live now, crews are doing a really good job at getting things back to normal. If you see, there are still some armed guards around the epicenter down there. They're telling me they're going to stay here at least through the afternoon. We're going to be here with them to continue to monitor the changing situation.
And Ben, have you seen any of the workers there from the epicenter start to filter in to check out any of the damage?
We did see a manager of some of the stores upstairs earlier who came to look at the door. However, most of them are going to stay home, as we're told the businesses should be closed at least throughout the morning and probably into the afternoon, according to law enforcement.
All right, Ben, thanks. Now let's get over to Richard Devane, who is live at the Hornets team store just a block or two away. And Richard, the windows completely shattered there. Most importantly, are things safe there this morning?
Things appear to be very safe. If you look over here, traffic is actually flowing back to normal, and that's all because of these guys over here, armed guards on almost every corner. But I will tell you, we've been out here for a couple of hours now, walking up and down, and we are still finding even more damage that happened last night. Check out where it is this time. Nowhere is the distrust of law enforcement more obvious than here at the Transit Police parking. I wanted you to check what the protester did, knocking in this window once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, all last night. However, like we said, right now things are much different than they were when all of this happened, and it does appear to be safer out here. As you see, people are also walking around. We've seen several people out almost like it's any other morning, running, enjoying the streets, and again, people are starting to come back to Uptown.
And they'll probably see a whole lot more damage as the sun begins to come up a little bit later on this morning. Let's go ahead and get back out to Ben Briscoe, who's at the Epicenter, a popular entertainment venue there in the heart of Uptown, where a lot of the damage was there from the protests. So Ben, a lot of times that is a hub of activity come lunchtime for a lot of the bankers there and workers in Uptown. Any way that that place is going to be open today, or is just the damage too bad?
Law enforcement tells me they just don't anticipate these stores being open this morning because look at the damage over here that they have to clean up. This is by far some of the worst we've seen, this looting of this store, but all of that will be able to be cleaned up. I want to show you instead what's going to be a little bit tougher. Take a look at all the media out here, not just from here in Charlotte or North Carolina, but national and international media has also come out here to cover this story and cover this damage. So that does raise the question, what kind of mark did the BLM movement leave on Charlotte's reputation? And what is that gonna mean for the next weeks and months to come? Guys, for all the people that came out and did damage last night, we've seen maybe as many come out this morning wanting to help clean things up. We're talking about strangers trying to help their neighbors, including some police officers over there who you can see are lifting bags from a looted store to help that business owner clean up. And it's a good thing too, because this morning it was clear it was going to take a massive effort to get things back to normal out here. Broken, shattered.
Very sad, very sad.
That's about the only way people described Uptown Charlotte this morning. Hardest hit, the Epicenter. CVS windows busted out. Same thing at the Asian Bistro. And planters destroyed with markings of the grassroots movement. Black Lives Matter. Downstairs, the smell of alcohol as bottles were ripped right off the shelves.
There's a reason why all these people are angry, and it isn't just because this one guy got shot. It's a lot of stuff built up, and I think it just came to a head.
The frustration builds up. Pressure bust pipe.
Now I want to show you one other big change out here. Earlier this morning when we arrived, every single one of these stairwells and entryways into the Epicenter was completely blocked off by an armed guard with these huge guns. Just within the past hour though, they started pulling some of those back. I did talk with a member of law enforcement who said they got to go home and get some rest for tonight. Well, before we get to what they say, I want to show you something that just happened out here. It is a small sign of progress at improving the relationship between police and protesters. You see how those barricades over there? Well, a couple of minutes ago, officers came and moved them from the front of the police department and piled them up over on the side. Now, releasing this tape was also supposed to improve relationships. And while it did help bring some calm last night on the streets, it did not bring a whole lot of clarity.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
We've all seen the tense moments after Charlotte police shot Keith Scott. Now the family's attorney says they've also watched the shooting itself.
It's painful, not just to see the death itself and the shooting itself, but to see the pain on other family members' faces.
In an NBC Charlotte exclusive interview, the attorney says the family saw both dash cam footage from a patrol car and a body camera video. The footage didn't show what happened leading up to the confrontation. Instead, starting with officers telling Scott to drop his gun.
We see him get out of the car. He's acting very calm. He's acting extremely non-aggressive. And in my opinion, he looks to be a little bit confused, maybe with all the commands coming from different directions.
What about the biggest question? Did Scott have a book or a gun?
There appears to be something in his hand, but you cannot make out from the video what, if anything, is there.
The family wants the city to release the video so you can make up your own mind. After watching it herself, Mayor Jennifer Roberts agrees, but wants to wait until the state's independent investigation is further along.
I am concerned that releasing it might impede the investigation. Because of its ambiguity, other aspects, witness interviews, evidence, etc., will need to be corroborated with the video to have a complete picture.
Now, the mayor tells us that she's going to rely on the police chief and SBI to help her decide when is the right time to release that video to the public.
I've been Briscoe reporting live outside police headquarters this morning.